Are you constantly feeling drained, distracted, and like you're just not getting anything done no matter how hard you try? You might call it laziness, but what if I told you that feeling isn't a flaw in you, but a symptom of something far bigger? Something almost everyone today is struggling with? Every day, your brain processes more information than people in the 15th century saw in an entire lifetime. Think about that for a second. More data, more demands, more decisions hitting your mind before your first cup of coffee is even half empty. It's like trying to fill a thimble with a fire hose. And the result? It's not laziness, it's something called cognitive overload. And it's quietly sabotaging your potential, making you feel perpetually behind, exhausted, and strangely unproductive. But once you truly grasp this, once you understand how your brain is actually working, for you by shutting down, you can finally stop fighting yourself and start winning the battle for your focus and energy. Stick around, because what I'm about to share could change how you see yourself and your work forever. Let's be honest with ourselves for a moment. How many times have you looked at your to-do list or thought about that big project and just felt stuck? That heavy, sinking feeling that tells you, I just don't have the energy today. It's easy to beat yourself up, right? To whisper to yourself, I'm just lazy, I lack discipline. Why can't I be more like X, Y, or Z? We've all been there. We live in a world that constantly glorifies hustle and grind, and if you're not keeping up, the internal narrative often defaults to self-blame. But what if that nagging feeling of being lazy is actually a profound misdiagnosis? What if the real culprit isn't a personal failing but a fundamental mismatch between our ancient brains and our hypermodern world? See, our brains, magnificent as they are, were designed for a different era. They evolved over hundreds of thousands of years to help us survive in environments where information was scarce, threats were physical, and decisions were relatively few and far between. Picture our ancestors. Their day-to-day might involve tracking game, finding edible plants, building shelter, and defending their tribe. Important tasks, yes, but the volume and variety of informational inputs were incredibly limited compared to what we face today. There were no flashing screens, no endless feeds, no constant pings demanding immediate attention. Their brains were built for deep, focused observation, for nuanced social interactions within a small group, and for problem-solving in a tangible, physical world. Fast forward to now. Your brain, that same incredible organ, is being asked to do something entirely different. Imagine you wake up. What's the first thing many of us do? Grab the phone. Instantly, you're hit with notifications, emails, messages, news alerts, social media updates. Before you've even gotten out of bed, your brain has already processed dozens, if not hundreds, of data points. Then the workday starts. More emails, Slack messages, project updates, meetings. Decisions to make. Big ones, small ones, urgent ones. Your colleagues' opinions, your boss's demands, your clients' requests. Outside of work, the news cycle is relentless, often designed to evoke strong emotional responses. Every app on your phone, every website you visit, every advertisement you see is competing for your attention, demanding a piece of your cognitive pie. It's a continuous, relentless stream. Compare that to the 15th century. A farmer or a merchant might encounter a few dozen new faces in a year, hear news from the next village perhaps once a month, and their daily decisions largely revolved around immediate survival and community tasks. Their brains had space to breathe, to ponder, to simply be. Our brains, by contrast, are like a browser with 1,000 tabs open, all playing different loud videos simultaneously. It's not just the amount of information, it's the fragmentation of it, the constant context switching, the never-ending stream of micro-decisions from which notification do I check first to how do I reply to this email perfectly. When faced with this kind of relentless influx, our brains, bless them, aren't built to just power through indefinitely. They have limits. Think of your brain like a sophisticated computer. If you open too many demanding programs, run too many complex calculations, or try to download too much data all at once, what happens? It slows down. It freezes. It might even crash. Your brain does something similar, but in a way that often gets misinterpreted. When it hits its limit, when it's utterly swamped by this constant barrage of notifications, news, opinions, messages, and decisions, it doesn't just stop because it's weak or lazy. It shuts down as a protective mechanism. It's essentially saying, emergency, too much input, must conserve energy and prevent a complete meltdown. This shutdown doesn't manifest as a literal power off. Instead, it looks like a lack of motivation, difficulty concentrating, procrastination, irritability, brain fog, or an overwhelming desire to just scroll endlessly through social media or binge watch something meaningless. These are all symptoms of a brain that's desperately trying to reduce cognitive load, to create some space, to just stop for a moment. It's a circuit breaker tripping to prevent your entire mental house from burning down. It's your brain's way of saying, I need a break, I need less. I need to process what I've already taken in. It's not an act of defiance, it's an act of self-preservation. And because this state often makes us feel unproductive, we then label ourselves as lazy, spiraling into a cycle of self-criticism that only adds more cognitive load. So, here's the crucial shift in perspective. You are not lazy, you are overloaded. Once you truly internalize this, once you understand that your brain is just doing its best to cope with an environment it was never designed for, a huge weight can lift. This isn't about blaming the world, it's about understanding the reality of it. It's about letting go of the self-blame, the judgment, and the false belief that you're somehow broken or lacking discipline. You're not. Your operating system is simply running too many demanding applications simultaneously. This understanding is the first, most powerful step towards reclaiming your focus, energy, and ultimately, your peace of mind. It's the difference between beating yourself up for not being able to lift an impossible weight and realizing that the weight itself is the problem, not your strength. The good news is, once you recognize cognitive overload as the real issue, you gain immense power. You're no longer fighting an invisible enemy within yourself. You're addressing a clear external problem. This isn't about magical cures or sudden surges of willpower. It's about working with your brain, not against it. It's about designing your environment, your routines, and your expectations in a way that respects your brain's natural limits. It's about becoming a conscious curator of what enters your mind, rather than a passive recipient of everything the modern world throws at you. This isn't about radically changing who you are. It's about giving yourself permission to slow down, to be selective, to create pockets of calm in the chaos. It means understanding that saying no to an extra notification, a new project, or another rabbit hole of information isn't a sign of weakness, but a strategic move to protect your most valuable asset, your cognitive capacity. When you understand you're overloaded, not lazy, you empower yourself to make different choices. You can start building systems that reduce the constant demands, clear the mental clutter, and allow your brain to function optimally again. It means recognizing when your brain is hitting its limit and honoring that signal, rather than pushing through it and burning out. It means strategically choosing what information gets your attention, rather than letting everything demand it. It's about creating space for deep work, for creative thought, for genuine rest, and for simply being without constant input. This shift in understanding is profoundly liberating. It's not about becoming superhuman, it's about becoming more human in an increasingly demanding world. It's how you can finally reclaim your focus, boost your productivity, and feel genuinely energized because you're no longer fighting against yourself. If you're ready to learn practical ways to work with your brain and overcome cognitive overload, make sure to check out our next video right here.